we all have things on our to-do lists every day, every week, every month, etc. that we just really put off and we don't want to do. It could be things relating to your health and fitness, so you think I really should go for a walk, or I should eat better. Or it could be finances, you might have bills to pay, or companies to contact to reduce your bills or whatever. But there'll be jobs that you just put off and put off and put off because you just don't feel like you have the motivation to do it, or because the task feels either a little bit scary or a bit uncomfortable, or you feel like it's going to take forever. Now, a really good way of motivating yourself to do things that you don't want to do is to create a reward system for yourself. Teachers are really good at this in schools, and lots of children will have reward systems and penalty systems, depending on whether kids do as they're asked or whether they don't. Yet we forget to implement this when we're adults, and it can actually be really, really effective. Now, there's two main types of reward systems. We have intrinsic rewards, which come internally. So it's normally how you feel when you've completed a job or a task. And intrinsic motivation can be just the desire to be better. It could be feeling proud of yourself afterwards. It could be feeling energetic after you've done a workout, etc. That's an intrinsic reward. There's something internally that makes you feel good, that makes you want to continue a particular habit. Extrinsic motivation is about having an external reward system, so either things that you can physically touch, or it could be praise or acceptance from other individuals. When it comes to health and fitness, it doesn't have to be health and fitness actually, it can be when it comes to anything, but when you're getting started with something that you're really not that motivated to do and you can't really be bothered, the intrinsic motivation isn't really there, especially if it's something like exercise and you're unfit, you're not going to do very well. The thought of going out walking or running or trying a new diet plan, etc., there's just no inclination to do it. Even when you've been for that walk or that run, you might come back and think, well, that was a load of shit because I'm well unfit, more unfit than I thought I was. So the intrinsic motivation isn't there, and the intrinsic reward system isn't there, and it's really hard to do something that you don't feel motivated or rewarded to do. So if you don't have the intrinsic motivation, so that internal motivation, why not try implementing some sort of external motivation system for yourself? So a classic example that I've used before is every time I've done something on my health and fitness plan that I've been avoiding, I've allocated a monetary value. So it could be, if it's a weight loss goal, for example, for every pound you lose on the scales, you give yourself £1. And that pound goes into a jar. It could be £5 or whatever you want to allocate yourself. And then at every major milestone, so when you've done half a stone or when you've done a stone, you allocate yourself a little bit more. And then you give yourself the freedom to treat yourself to something that you've really, really wanted. So it could be that you want a new pair of leggings or a new training diary or something like that. But you can see that reward system, is totting up, and you can use that for something. Another one that I've had more recently is people really, really wanting to reduce device time, and they know that being on their devices is really impacting the quality of time that they're spending with the family. It's impacting their productivity with the tasks and things like that they want to get done in a day, and they'd really like to come off the devices, but they are quite addictive. So another example of an external reward is if you love going on your phone and you love going on social media or playing games or whatever it is you do on there, why not use that as an external reward? So if you want to make sure that you've prepared healthy meals for the day for you and your family, when you've done that task, give yourself an hour of guilt-free social media time, like reward yourself for it. You could use like clothes and makeup and things like that. So if you, for example, you want to start a new self-care routine, but at the moment you're feeling a bit frumpy, you're feeling a bit overweight, you don't really have the makeup that you'd like to have and the clothes that you'd like to have, etc. You could say, you know what, if I get up every day at 8 a.m. for the next week or two, I'm going to buy myself a new lipstick, or I'm going to buy myself a new foundation or whatever, and start thinking, what are some of the things that really, really reward you, that you would really, really want, and how could you actually start allocating them for doing some of the things that you really, really don't want to do, and use it as a reward system for yourself. And you'll find, I find personally that it does really work. it can work really well with kids as well. If you want, we find a lot of people who give kids chores and things that they've got to do in a week, and their reward for that is you get to live here, you get to have a roof over your head and to be part of the family, etc. Now that doesn't really work well for kids because they know that you're not going to, you know, boot them out on the street, etc. So for them, there is no reward. They don't see, you know, having that roof over their head as a reward because they don't understand the value behind that. So we've tried things before, like allocating Monopoly money for different chores, and then the Monopoly money can be used then for movies or certain sweet treats in the cupboards or whatever. That one works quite well. We've what else have we used? Yeah, we've used, like, we use time quite a lot, so the kids love device time. So again, we'll say, right, well, if you do X, Y and Z, this will earn you X amount of time, etc. And you'll find that you get so much more buy-in from yourself and so much more buy-in from your kids if you implement these little mini reward systems. And now there's an endless amount of things that you can come up with. Have a little think about what would motivate you. What would you love to have? Some people love sweets and chocolate or alcohol, like Adam at the minute. If you're watching any of his videos, he loves a beer. So at the minute he's challenged himself to cycle every single day, well, Monday to Friday, and if he cycles Monday to Friday, he earns himself a beer or a couple of beers on a Friday night. So if you're struggling with healthy eating and things, and you're eating shit all day every day, you could say, right, my absolute favourite is a glass of wine and a packet of Haribos. So if I exercise X amount of times this week and I prepare healthy meals and things, on Friday or Saturday night, I'm having a packet of Haribo and I'm having a bottle of wine, and it's going to be completely guilt-free. And that's how you can still have some enjoyment of the things that you want in your life without it absolutely taking over your life and losing the moderation and affecting your health. So give it some thought. What are your favourite things, and how can you use them as little mini rewards to kick your ass into doing some of the other stuff that you're putting off? Give it a go. Let me know what you think.